Being in the world, but not of the world. And that having to do with, how what people identify with. Because they were having not an argument, but a conversation about self-esteem and how childhood trauma leads people to look for validation, and that it's not a matter of who you look for validation from. It's the problem that you look for validation at all. Now, people want to be validated. We do. But by who and from who? It needs to be you at the end of the day. And you have to unlearn the shit you learned as a child to not disappoint your parents, to not disappoint people and people's expectations. That's actually not normal and not healthy. Your parents were supposed to make you feel accepted for being alive, for being a child. You were supposed to be validated just for being a child, right? And then at a certain point, though, that would create independence for you to think for yourself, to make decisions on your own, to fail on your own, and be able to pick yourself up. Sounds kind of harsh, right? But with that being said, that would create a person, because they were talking about what's the most ideal, person who has self-esteem is choice. Would they be able to come into the world and not succumb to what the world is based on? Beauty standards, validating yourself with money, validating yourself with status. You know how society is ran. Would they be able to come into the world with their self-esteem and maintain that? And he was like, they've done research on that. And that person can come in the world but not be of the world. And they would not submit or adopt the ideologies that are circling around them, because they can separate the difference between what they do and who they are. They can separate the difference between their job and not identify with their job. I think this is honestly pretty normal. And when I remember I went to Spain, chat, right? I remember I went to Spain, and the average income a year was $20,000. We at this corner store, I really want to get my Spanish back, bro, because I love the fact that I have the potential to be bilingual, and I was at some time, but it just got weaker over the years, just learning other things, so just how it worked, right? I remember I went to that what they, their little corner store. They making, there was nothing on the menu was in English. Nobody in there spoke English. I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm in the trenches, like I ain't. So, but it was so thorough because nobody gave a fuck. Who the fuck are you? What do you want? Nobody gave a fuck, bro. You're not, like, who cares? What do you want to eat? You know what I'm saying? People chatting with each other. They sitting outside. It's sunny. They eating their food. They minding their business, gang. Like, live your life. And it wasn't this necessary, like, superficial ass what he got on. What are they doing? What the culture difference was just so authentic. And that's just how things really can be and should be. We live a little bit differently. People, what you wear. If somebody said, what do you define? How do you define aura? What would you call aura? I think that's an interesting question. And mind you, chat, you can live like that and think like that and still be around superficial people. It's just the fact that you dance to your own beat. You move to your own music. So it's like I could be around a bunch of people, right? Having on a diamond chain, diamond rings, dressing the way I like, but not be doing it because I feel a need to fit in with them, because I feel a need to validate myself to them, or feel the need to defend myself. It talked about what true vulnerability is, and vulnerability, the psychologist, he defined it as, I'm gonna tell y'all, Trader Don, I appreciate the 22 months. This was interesting to me too, chat. He said he defined validation literally when he looked at the context of where the word originates from. Vulnerability is the capacity to be hurt. Y'all hate how I say vulnerability, and I don't give a fuck, bitch. Vulnerability is the capacity to be hurt. And that what people do around that is they get defensive, right? So you feel the need to defend yourself. What are you trying to protect? Defend yourself from what? Right? So when you're afraid of vulnerability is just embracing being hurt or embracing things that would have you be hurt versus avoiding them, defending yourself from them, and shit like that, right? So to continue on that point, right? Here I go with the vulner. Y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. So act like it and stay on the fucking topic. Are you 6 years old? Are you fucking 6 years old? I don't give a fuck. Vulnerability. Is the fucking vulnerability dictionary finna pop up in my bathroom right now and correct me on how I say it? Is it? So shut the fuck up. Okay, look, this is what I'm saying, bruh. Like I was saying, chat. Vulnerability is a capacity to be hurt. Capacity to be hurt, right? So when you stop defending yourself and stop protecting and start embracing that shit that has you hurt, that is the door to growth. Because instead of being vulnerable, you know what people do? They try to be right. Because if you're right, then you don't have to change anything. Chad, when I heard that, I was like, damn.